superstars this time, 5 very different singer-songwriters who know how to shift a few units. Scottish singing prodigy K.T Tunstall could not really be called an overnight sensation. Despite seeming to come from nowhere with her 2005 debut album Eye to the Telescope, she'd been doing it tough for over a decade.
What spurred me on really was setting up music nights, putting on gigs, finding other musicians to come and play at these nights, and moving to Edinburgh and setting up a kind of a scene, I suppose, of getting musicians together and putting on a show every couple of weeks. And that, you know, you just got to focus, and that's what you think about, and that's what I just had to stop thinking about long term and just adopt some blind faith that it was going to happen one day.
That day came when she was asked to fill in for another guest on Jules Holland's TV show later. Her performance of Black Horse and the Cherry Tree won rave reviews, prompting the re-release of Eye to the Telescope, which duly shot to #3 on the British album charts. A few months later, she was on the red carpet outside the Grosvenor House Hotel in London, savouring her nomination for the prestigious Mercury Award.
I was just reading my diary last night, just looking over kind of where what I was doing this time 10 years ago, and I read that I was getting moved on by a policeman when I was playing on the street. So the policemen are now allowing me in the building, which is great.
Her breakthrough in the US came when American Idol contestant Catherine McPhee asked to sing Black Horse and the Cherry Tree on the show. K.T's single was at that time languishing at number 79 on the Billboard charts. But after Catherine's performance, it leapt up 50 places. The irony was not lost on K.T, who previously made no secret of her antipathy to the formulaic TV talent quest. Having conquered both the British and American charts within a matter of months, one reporter wondered whether all the sudden success might go to her head.
Because it's taken me this amount of time to get here, you know, you don't spend 10 years trying to be famous. The will to do that is, I just can't imagine, is enough to keep focused, to just simply want to be known. So my absolute focus is completely on music. And yeah, I mean, the fame stuff is kind of being well known and respected for doing something that you love doing is fantastic. But, you know, the music is the priority for me, and that will always come first. And I think that I've had to fight for so long to actually get here that I can't imagine that's going to change.
And indeed, she proved she'd retained her humility at the British Music Awards in 2006. When she was invited on stage to collect the award for Best British Female Solo Artist, she said she wished to share the honour with fellow nominee Kate Bush. Other accolades included a European Border Breakers Award, an Ivor Novello Award, and a Grammy Award nomination for Best Pop Vocal Performance. Not surprisingly, on the eve of the release of her 2007 album Drastic Fantastic, critics and fans were wondering if she could possibly duplicate the success of Eye to the Telescope.
When it comes to selling lots of records, I've got this sensation that I've kind of done that. So it's not, I mean, you know, ask me in a month when it's not sold any, but, you know, right now I can't imagine feeling particularly depressed if it doesn't sell a lot. What's important for me is that I've progressed with my music and done something different and gone somewhere I wanted to go with it.
While many critics hailed the pop genius of Drastic Fantastic, predicting K.T's career was set to go stratospheric, others missed the more folky touch of Eye to the Telescope. But after peaking at number 3 on the British charts and number 9 on the US Billboard charts, K.T had no reason to feel daunted by competition from other rising female artists.
I mean, the stuff that sticks has its own thing, and so there's absolutely nothing to worry about. And I think it's fantastic that there's so many female musicians around now and singers, and they're really varied. You know, for a long time it was just kind of either R&B, pop, or it was very kind of a slightly insipid
kind of singer-songwriter stuff, and now there's this really great kind of array which puts it all into its own place, which I think is really good.
Still basking in the glow of her 2008 marriage to her drummer Luke Bullen, K.T is glad to have survived the notorious sophomore album blues. She has this advice for young struggling artists.
If you don't believe that you're good enough, then you're going to give up. If you think that you are good enough, and that you've got a much better chance of going for it. So I'd say, you know, really accept support from the people around you to keep your confidence level up that it's something that you should be doing. And yeah, just learn to follow your heart, I suppose, and do what makes you happy.
When Isaac Hayes dropped dead of a stroke on the 10th of August 2008 at the age of 65, stars were queuing up to pay tribute to the bald-headed baritone voice crooner who laid the groundwork for disco.
He's a very important entertainer and a very, important part of our culture. We missed.
Alongside his work as a singer and songwriter, he was also a film score composer, and his theme from Shaft from the 1971 blaxploitation film won both Academy and Grammy Awards.
Well, it's a dream come true because every artist would like to have something that lives a long, long, long time, and I had no idea this was going to do that. And every day that I hear it, I used to get burned out back in the late 70s. Oh, I'm sick of this. But now when I hear it, I said, thank God, it's still here, it's still here. So I'm grateful every day.
A self-taught musician, he was hired in 1964 by Stax Records of Memphis as a backup pianist, working as a session musician for Otis Redding. He also played saxophone. His breakthrough came with the album Hot Buttered Soul, which made him a star in 1969. Theme from Shaft from the cult film starring Richard Roundtree became a #1 hit in 1971, and at the Oscar ceremony the following year, he performed the song, wearing an eye-popping amount of gold and receiving a standing ovation.
For me, I think the best part was when he won the Oscar. And when he had that performance at the Oscars, performing Shaft and all that, it was just fantastic. But also just his voice work. You know, as a voice actor, I admired the fact that he was able to do what we do and give reverence to voice actors and not take it as just another, oh, this is a job I don't have to dress up for or to put anything into. He took voice acting very seriously, and he did a fantastic job at it in his voice work as well. So, yeah, so God bless him, and I know he's up there singing.
As well as winning an Academy Award for the song, he was nominated for another one for the score. The song and score also won him 2 Grammys. Isaac's career hit another high in 1997 when he became the voice of Chef, the sensible school cook and devoted ladies' man on the animated TV show South Park. In a 1999 interview, he described his South Park alter ego as a person that speaks his mind. He's sensitive enough to care for children. He's wise enough to not be put into the whack category like everyone else in town. And he loves the ladies. However, he ended up leaving the show in 2006 after one episode mocked his Scientology religion.
I'm a Scientologist, and that is my religious preference, and I should be respected for that. You don't have to like it or love it, but respect it.
He was in several movies, including It Could Happen to You with Nicolas Cage, Night Street with Martin Sheen, Reindeer Games starring Ben Affleck, and the blaxploitation parody I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. He also provided the voice of Nickelodeon's Nick at Night, and had radio shows in New York and then in Memphis. In 2002, he was elected to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Just before his death, he was about to begin work on a new album for Stax, the sole record label he helped build to legendary status. Justin Timberlake is one singer-songwriter who just can't seem to sit still. Ever since joining the cast of Disney series The Mickey Mouse Club at the age of 12, where he met future girlfriend Britney Spears, he hasn't stopped pushing the boundaries and breaking new ground in his career. After a 7-year run with NSYNC, which yielded millions of sales and a host of Grammy nominations, JT struck out on his own with his first solo album, Justified. It won him 2 Grammy Awards and sold 8 million copies. A year later, he teamed up with former Mickey Mouse colleague Christina Aguilera to take to the road.
We're both in new places in our career.
Right.
Even though this is my first solo album and it's her second.
Kind of reintroducing both of ourselves as artists.
We just thought, why not?
Their combined Justified and Strip tour took the two 22-year-olds on 45 dates across North America.
I'll be performing Justin's.
Yeah, and I'll be performing Christina's, so.
And it'll be fun.
No, we just doing our own stuff.
Yeah, I mean, of course, our own stuff. I'll be reinventing some of my old stuff into, you know, where I'm at musically today with this album, and have some sing-along action, and there's something definitely for everybody.
As well as giving Justin the opportunity to expand his live performance skills, the grueling tour was a great test of his physical fitness.
It's really about stamina, you know, and making sure you get enough rest to keep this going for 3 months, because it's a grind. It really is a grind. You're on a bus every night. You're traveling, you know, every day. And if you're not doing that, then you're on stage, you know, basically getting the cardio workout of your life.
That discipline would have stood him in great stead for his next big test as he branched out into an acting career. As well as starring in a couple of straight-to-DVD releases like Alpha Dog and Edison Force, he was cast in Black Snake Moan and Southland Tales, and found the job of acting in films very different from starring in music videos.
It's more about creating an image. It's more about creating, I don't want to say something iconic because that sounds a bit conceited, but it's more about creating a silhouette, so to speak, and an idea of something. With acting, it's more about really creating a specific character.
For an artist who admits to being something of a control freak, that's quite a challenge.
When you're an artist in a music video, you sort of halfway direct them yourself as well, because you know how you want to be portrayed. When you're acting, you're letting the director really push you in the direction to try to get what they want out of you. And so you kind of give yourself over in that way.
Control issues aside, Justin has always been very keen to collaborate with other artists. As well as featuring on songs by the Black Eyed Peas, Nelly and Snoop Dogg, he worked closely with Uber producer and hip-hop artist Timberlake on his smash hit 2006 album, Future Sex Love Sounds, which also featured guest appearances by will.i.am, 3 6 Mafia and T.I. A year later, JT jumped at the chance to return the favour on Timberland's solo album, Shock Value.
When I heard about everybody that was going to be, you know, featured or contributing to the record, was the first thing I thought of was Quincy Jones, you know, Back on the Block. And to me, that's what Tim is. He's a modern-day Quincy Jones, to me.
Having Justin input, he was already still hyped from the Future Sex Love, and I feel like he didn't get a lot out because only 12 songs. Yeah. So he had more to get out, but we know how to cut it short. So I said, you might as well come in and be like a producer with me on this album and give your input, and I'll just take it from there.
Since then, he's collaborated with the likes of Madonna, 50 Cent and Duran Duran, and still found the time to squeeze in the launch of his third restaurant, Southern Hospitality. As a Tennessee native, he grew up on Southern food and was proud to be serving up his grandmother's finger-licking recipes.
Well, they're all good. Her pecan pie is pretty signature. Yeah. So I recommend that right out of the oven with some, you know, vanilla bean ice cream.
While some of the gathered company may have been raising eyebrows at the latest addition to the JT empire, which also includes a clothing line called William Rast, actress Andrea Roth was not at all surprised.
I think that if anyone was going to do it, it would be him. He's a Renaissance man. It seems like there's nothing that boy can't do.
Beyonce's salesman father had so much faith in his eldest daughter's talent that he abandoned a 6-figure salary to manage her singing career. That bold decision initially inflicted hardship on the Knowles family, But when Beyonce's group, Destiny's Child, signed to Columbia Records in 1996, they were back in the money. Beyonce was just 15 years old, but she'd already won over 30 singing and dancing competitions in her native Houston. Destiny's Child, which also included her childhood best friends Kelly Rowland and Latavia Robertson, went on to become the biggest-selling female group of all time, winning Beyonce a swag of Grammy Awards. In 2001, at the age of 20, she also became the first black woman to win Songwriter of the Year from the American Society of Composers, Authors and Publishers. 5 years later, she was enjoying a wildly successful solo career and was celebrating her birthday with fans in Tokyo.
How y'all doing tonight? I can't believe I'm here with you guys celebrating my 25th B-Day.
After performing 8 songs, she celebrated the occasion with 10,000 screaming fans who sang Happy Birthday.
This is the most amazing cake I've ever seen in my life.
At just 25, the overachieving songstress had built up a phenomenal CV. Aside from all the musical accolades, she'd begun putting together an impressive film career, which began with the made-for-TV film Carmen Hip Hop. Other movies have included the Austin Powers sequel Goldmember, and in 2003 she starred opposite Cuba Gooding Jr. in The Fighting Temptations as a gospel choir singer. Being only in her second big screen role, she was nervous about how it would turn out.
I was terrified, and the first time I saw this, the same feeling, but I was so critical the first time. The second time was a little better. Now I can really watch it.
She still hadn't got over her stage fright by the time she arrived on set for the shooting of The Pink Panther. But director Sean Levy helped her overcome her fears.
Beyonce and I spent a week rehearsing. So we just went right at the fact that she's not an actress, it's not her day job, and let's not pretend that there isn't anxiety.
But Beyonce wasn't going to let a little thing like nerves get in the way of her ambition.
You know, I admire Barbra Streisand, Cher, Diana Ross, and they sang in a lot of their movies, but when they acted, they really acted, and they were really good. It doesn't matter to me. I eventually want to do a really big musical. That's my dream.
As usual, she didn't have to wait long. Within 2 years, she'd nailed her starring role in the screen adaptation of 80s Broadway musical Dreamgirls. It brought her 2 Golden Globe nominations and an Oscar nomination for the song she wrote and performed, Listen. Having ticked off that ambition, she was on to the next few items on her list, one of which was appearing on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Well, first of all, this is iconic. I mean, anyone being on the cover of Sports Illustrated, that image is something that just stays in your mind forever. It's so huge, and I'm so honored.
But then she had backup from another enormously talented member of her family, her mother Tina, with whom Beyonce has set up a design company.
My mother designed all of the bathing suits. I was able to use this as a launch for House of Darion swimsuits, which is the hugest thing ever. So, I mean, anything they ever asked me for, I'm here. I so enjoyed every minute of it.
The star with the seemingly perfect life was just as effusive at the launch of new fragrance Emporio Armani Diamonds, and treasured the opportunity to get feedback from her doting fans.
Because a lot of the time I'm so distant. I'm on the stage, I'm, doing photo shoots and videos, and I don't get to really touch the people that are impacted by my music. And it's so beautiful for me to be able to actually shake their hands and to hear the impact that my music has had on everyone's lives. It's really overwhelming for me, and I'm so grateful for these opportunities.
Then, after attending the premiere of her baby sister Solange's debut film and playing Etta James in a film which she also co-produced, she finally had a window in her diary to marry rap impresario Jay-Z in New York.
But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it is my extreme honor to introduce to you tonight, oh my God, the Grammy Award-winning artist, the rapper, hip-hop icon, and Time Magazine's 100 most influential people in the world, Mr. Kanye West.
No doubt about it, the 10-time Grammy Award winner from Atlanta has a lot of fans.
Kanye's sick. The beats are tight, the lyrics are tight, everything's just really good. It's just a good package.
I feel like he speaks the truth in his music, and I know he helped John Legend come out and Common come out, and they speak true music as well. So I just feel like it's not anything fake. It's real music that I'm listening to.
His brutal honesty, you know, the fact that he believes in himself and he knows what it's like to recover from something very traumatic and to come back and be on top of the world. I admire the human spirit of that.
But no matter how much praise is heaped upon him by others, no one can big Kanye West up quite like the man himself.
I came to look fresh so I could look at myself on TV and go at a wire image and look at myself.
How you feeling tonight, Ziggin?
I'm feeling good. Look at me, how could I feel? Oh, what up?
One peer that isn't overly enamored with Kanye's talent is old sparring partner 50 Cent, who never misses a chance to add fuel to the flames of his various feuds with other rappers. 50 Cent claims that Kanye is a self-promoting fool who hasn't even come remotely close to 50's record sales.
Now, I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke.
Despite his bravado, Kanye's third album, Graduation, jumped well ahead of his rival's effort, Curtis, which was released on the same day. Such news would have come as no surprise to the Chicago University dropout, whose self-belief had already reached such heady heights in 2006 that he claimed he would really have a problem if his record Late Registration did not win Album of the Year at the Grammys. The award ended up going to U2 for How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb. And later in the year, when Touch the Sky failed to win Best Video at the MTV Awards, he took the boldness one step further and climbed up on stage to argue that he should have won the award. Kanye's incredible confidence has led him to lay claim to talents that have yet to be tested.
I'm a designer, and sometimes I get bored with things and I want to just jump and design something else. So if I feel like designing a house today, I'll do that.
Although there have been rumblings about the release of a Kanye West clothing launch since way back in 2006, a label has yet to emerge. The rapper claims that the delays have been caused by the inadequacy of his potential partners. However, he has been putting in some research on the haute couture circuit in downtown Paris.
I thought it was really dope. I thought the cuts on the pants were really interesting, like the flood. We call them floods back in Chicago, but the high waters. And I was just looking at like this Michael Jackson book that I had when I was a little kid, and he had the floods on, like when he did Billie Jean. And I like the use of colors, like when they had the orange pants with the orange belt, or the yellow pants and the yellow belt with the gray, and I thought it was dope.
Now tell me, how did you go about...
He brought fiancée Alexis along for the ride, who was no doubt on the lookout for some spectacular outfits for Beyonce and Alicia Keys, who are rumoured to be top of the list of blushing bridesmaids for the couple's forthcoming wedding extravaganza.